mostly from throughout Brazil, but even through other parts of Latin America, some of the those type of creators. It's better to show than tell. So I want to start by showing you a video today. So first of all, that excites me, and I see these. I've seen this 10 times, and I still watch it. And every time, I'm so excited that we're doing this. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about what the spaces are and what our mission is and what we do, and what's going to happen in Rio in particular. So first of all, I think this is on and off, but hopefully I'm loud enough that you can all hear me. First of all, YouTube in general is about the world's stories and about the storytellers that tell those stories. If you're not a person telling a story, you are absolutely, because I don't think there's a human being in the entire world that hasn't seen YouTube at least once and is watching a story, somebody's story, right? So what our job at the Spaces is very simple. Help stories and storytellers come to life. And that happens in 3 ways. It happens through learn, connect, and create, which you saw up here. And the way I try to describe a space is by breaking down those 3 parts. Learn. We're a bit of a film school, right? You can come here and learn anything from lighting to acting to editing. We might, at certain times of the year, we might have a class in horror makeup, right? So we really want you to have all of the tools you need to get out. Many creators, as you know, are in their apartments or in their houses, and they don't even know how to get themselves lit properly. And we find that as soon as we teach them how to light themselves properly, their viewership goes through the roof, because actually their audience can see that. And if we work on audio, things actually improve too. So that's the first thing, is learn. And so think of us as a free film school, right? And that free is because we invest in the creator community, because an investment in creators is an investment in YouTube. The more we encourage creators to think of this as their platform to tell their stories and share their stories with the world, the more we see viewership growing, audiences growing, right? Advertising grows. So this is an investment. It's a really, it's a luxurious investment, certainly. And it's an opportunity that makes, as I said earlier, makes me very proud to work at a company like this that would allow us to invest so much in our creator base. So that's part 1. Part 2 is connect. And Connect is a really important part of it's the simplest and it feels the most obvious, but it actually reaps tremendous rewards. So what does Connect mean? Connect means this is an incredibly diverse country. And one of the things that I am very excited about is to watch and we'll take the tour today and you'll see this, to watch what happens when you bring people from many cultures together in one space, in one open environment where they are free to express themselves, share their story, get a perspective from somebody that's grown up a very different way in this country, and to all work on how together they elevate themselves into better storytelling. One of the tools we know works the most is when creators collaborate with each other. If I have a channel and somebody else has a channel and we talk about each other and we do a project together, both of our channels grow and our subscriber base grows and our passion for the platform grows because there's somebody else like me working this hard to tell their stories. So when you see this space today, you're going to see that it's very open. There's a lot of glass. The language I use, and I hope this translates, I think it will in English, is it's a teaching hospital, right? Because we offer this free investment, the creators that are here can't expect to be precious about their work. They have to recognize that others might be watching. Others might be learning from them. They might share their ideas when they run into each other in the hallway, right? And that sharing, we find, is the most important ingredient in growing on YouTube, because as much as I can sit up here and tell you what to do to be a great YouTuber and all of the steps to follow, and as much as we have all this great staff here that will guide you, the number one way creators learn is from each other. So that community becomes incredibly important. And then the third element is create. And this is where, so if we're a community center and we're a film school, we're also a production studio, right? And so the third area is that we're a production studio. And while we walk into this building and you see it today, and there is absolutely this wow factor, and it's impressive, we really engage with all types of creator levels. So if you're a beginning creator just getting going, there's an opportunity for you here. What we won't do is take a newer creator or somebody that has never worked with camera equipment outside of their Mac opening up and you pushing the camera, right? We don't put them in a huge sound stage. We put them on a green screen. We teach them lighting. We teach them editing. We might teach them to use a different camera. And we work our way up. So while it may seem, and I think you will, I'm certain some of you will say this, that it might feel a little intimidating if I were a creator to be in here, and am I worthy of this? When you see all that we offer, we really offer something for everybody. So if you're the most experienced professional and you're ready for 360 and virtual reality and other kinds of interesting creative ways to tell your story, we have it. And if you're a creator that's just learning how to pick up a camera, a DSLR, and you're trying to just understand the lighting on that camera and the aperture, we really are here for you too. So we're a film school. Those three elements together of being a film school, a community center, and a studio, we believe are this magic recipe that really brings stories and storytellers to life. And I believe in this country in particular, we're going to see some incredibly strong work, because I have already watched in Sao Paulo, where we've been, how much, we have a very small community in Sao Paulo, a very small space. Some of you might know it at Instituto Criar. We have very little equipment. We have amateur studios, and I have been amazed by the level of work and the storytelling coming out of creators that are given just a little bit. So I cannot even wait to think about what's going to happen when they have all of this. So with that, I just wanted to really thank you all and say that one of the sayings we've been using lately is all roads lead to Rio. So we've been out on the road. Where's Leo? Are you up there? Sorry, where's Otavio? I meant. I'm sorry. It's hard, I'm blinded. Otavio back there has actually been, so there's three people that are here in the space today. There's Livia Marquez, who is a true carioca from Rio. We would never bring in somebody to run this space from the United States when we're trying to build for the creator community. So when you see the design and we talk about on the tour today, it should feel Brazilian. having Brazilians running the space is highly critical too. So we have Livia, we have Otavio, who is working on creative strategy and has gone out on the road all over Brazil to 3 cities in the last month or 2 to introduce people to the concept of what we're building in Rio and what will be here and the opportunity for them to come and grow and learn here. And then, is Leo in the room? I don't know that he is. Okay. And Leo is the third person who, when you see this magnificent space today and think about the details that have pulled together and the programs that we offer and the way this is really organized and thought through, you know, Leo's really the master of that, and he's in charge of those things and running a lot of the different programs we have here. And together, the 3 of them are creating these programmatic ideas that really are meant to spur and fuse this sort of creative energy. We start you, we give you ideas, and then we let you come in and tell your stories. So the next best thing to do is to show it to you, right? And to really let you walk around and experience it. But I think first we're going to take a couple of questions. Is that right, Kawa? And certainly, please, if you don't get a question answered here, we're going to spend the next 45 minutes or so walking around the facility with you, and feel free to ask any of us anything you have, and thank you. We are incredibly blessed to be here in Rio, and we're really excited for this day.
Woohoo!
Vocês podem fazer perguntas direto em inglês mesmo ou em português, que alguém aqui de PR vai traduzir, a gente faz essa ponte. A ideia é que vocês vão dar esse tempo. Quanto mais a gente ficar aqui respondendo pergunta, menos a gente vai ficar em tudo. Então, mas é isso, a gente está aqui com o Fábio e o Lance para responderem qualquer coisa. A gente também via YouTube e Google coisas nas gerais. Então é isso, o que vocês quiserem saber, now's the time. Vocês também.
Oi, bom dia, parabéns aqui no espaço, estou curiosa para conhecer. Meu nome é Anabela. Eu queria saber como vai ser a seleção para as pessoas que vão querer poder usar esse espaço, porque, enfim, vocês falaram que está aberto, inclusive, para os iniciantes, quer dizer, como é que vocês vão escolher esses iniciantes que vão ter essa possibilidade de usar o espaço?
That's my answer. Yes.
So that's about screening a selection of people to be able to use the space.
Great. So actually, that's a fairly global standard for us. So, and it's all published, and we can share it with you. But at a basic level, if you have even 1,000 subscribers, which is really, I mean, I have 1,000 subscribers with my daughter's dance videos from recitals, so it's not that hard. You can get a good family members together to come up to 1,000. So if you have 1,000 subscribers, you're invited to our Learn and Connect activities. And you sign up online, really through a tool, and we will fill out the classes. If you get to 10,000 subscribers, you're invited to actually shoot in the studios. And then again, 2 things happen when you shoot in the studios. One is there's, you know, a signable time. You sign up for a studio or for an editing day or whatever it is you want, and it's available. And then some of the time we're actually programmatically driving what's going on in the space, and we will get a lot of interested parties, and then we will go through them and figure out who would be the great mix of people to be included in that program. Is that helpful? And we have that printed out, right? Or, and, yeah, great.
Posso gritar também? Bom dia. Vou fazer a pergunta em espanhol, em português. Eu queria saber, vocês que têm experiência em, acho que são mais 10 cidades, queria saber o que tem de específico o Rio. O que a cidade mostrou para vocês é diferente, porque, enfim, o que deu o Rio de diferente a Los Angeles, a Nova York, a Londres? O que vocês perceberam de característico aqui?
So, you know, one of the things I'm going to make an analogy to the United States, and hopefully that'll connect with people. I think of New York as Sao Paulo, and I think of LA as Rio, right? And I think that the heart and soul of the creative community, television, film industry is really in Rio. And I think of the advertising and business markets in Sao Paulo. So I think Fabio and I spent about a year, Rio, Sao Paulo, Rio, Sao Paulo. We ultimately ended up trying both, right? Because this one doesn't work either. I'm so glad I have a loud voice, and we're going to teach ourselves how to use our own tools. So Rio for us felt like really where a lot of the, if you try to figure out where most of the creators were or where they were going to work their way towards, it was here. And so we wanted to be in the most convenient, vibrant, creative community that we thought existed in the country. That's not to say, please don't interpret that as we don't think there are many in the country, because we think there's a lot of pockets of real creativity. Rio is also easy to get to. So if you're not in Rio, it's easy to get here. So, not for me, but for people in Brazil.
Oi, meu nome é Isabela. Eu queria saber se vocês têm exemplos assim, de youtubers expressivos hoje em dia que tenham surgido por meio de um YouTube Space.
Alguns exemplos lá da cabeça que você tem de criadores que começaram no Space de São Paulo e foram se desenvolvendo.
Cara, acho que a gente... Tá funcionando? Tudo bem, falo mais alto, mas a gente tem vários exemplos lá em São Paulo da gente vê de canais bem pequenininhos, chegando com o limite mesmo de 1000 inscritos para começar. Ah, voltou. Mas tudo bem, eu vou deixar quieto. E começam a fazer começam os workshops, começam a aprender um pouquinho, entendem um pouco melhor como usar a câmera, como melhorar o áudio e crescem, chegam a 500 mil, 300 mil inscritos e começam a viver dos seus canais. Eu acho que a coisa mais legal que eu vi nesses 2 anos trabalhando lá em São Paulo é um monte de gente que chegava com uma ideia muito legal, mas um canal ainda pouco estruturado. E tempos depois essa pessoa voltava e falava, putz, cara, acabei de pedir demissão do meu emprego para viver agora do meu canal e viver da paixão deles. Acho que essa é uma das coisas mais legais que a gente tem aqui.
Faz aqui fazer um projeto criativo, como por exemplo de empoderamento feminino, que a gente fez 2 vezes já. A gente fez ano passado, fez esse ano, ou de orgulho LGBT. Então a gente faz esse tipo de projeto e capacita os criadores para trabalharem nesses projetos. Então tem umas histórias bem legais. A Balinéria, tem uns nomes interessantes que nasceram ali e cresceram junto com o YouTube Space ao longo desses 2 anos de história. Então acho que a gente pode ir passando isso para vocês, se vocês tenham vontade.
Maria Clara, eu queria saber, com a crise do Brasil, vocês reconsideraram o plano de investimento aqui no Rio para abrir esse espaço com tantos materiais e oportunidades de graça aqui?
Não, na verdade a gente tem feito investimentos estruturantes aqui no Brasil nos últimos 4 anos, seja em partes visíveis, ambientes como o campus em São Paulo, como o YouTube Space aqui no Rio, como a ampliação do escritório em Belo Horizonte, mas vai muito além disso. A gente agora está trazendo cabos submarinos que vão fazer com que a nossa conectividade fique melhor, reduz o tempo de latência de vídeos, o próprio sistema de servir esses vídeos no ambiente digital vai melhorar muito no Brasil. A gente está trazendo cabos submarinos dos Estados Unidos para cá, para São Paulo, depois chega aqui até o Rio, até o data center no Chile. São investimentos que a gente tem que fazer nessa hora, porque a gente acredita que tem um potencial enorme no Brasil, especialmente para a economia digital. A economia digital ela é pilar de eficiência, de acesso para a nossa população, e o YouTube Space, na verdade, é um investimento que nunca foi nem discutido do ponto de vista de associação com a crise. A gente acredita que com ele a gente vai conseguir fazer com que o YouTube seja ainda mais relevante, ainda maior. Lembrando que o YouTube hoje, no Brasil, mensalmente já tem 98 milhões de pessoas que acessam o YouTube. Então é mais um investimento estruturante nessa linha de acreditar que a gente tem que construir agora para os próximos anos.
Can I add one thing? I don't know if you said this, so if you did, you'll correct me. One of the things that I love the most about what the creators are is that they are entrepreneurs and business owners on their own. And I actually was giving a tour in New York recently. I'm based in New York and right about a floor below the New York space. And we had a tour that was mayors from different cities around the world. Most of them were from Europe and Africa on this particular trip. And what they were trying to do was think about how to revitalize the communities they're in without waiting for the infrastructure, for the laws to change, for for the sort of the nuanced business of politics, right? And what they realize is that there's this entrepreneurialism that requires no infrastructure. And there's this opportunity for young people not to wait and figure out if somebody else is going to provide this opportunity for them, but for them to take it on their own and build their business through their passion of storytelling. And to transfer that story to a Brazilian story, a few years ago, I was in Sao Paulo at the office, and when I come here, I always ask if I can meet with a group of creators because I want to hear what's on their mind. And there was a woman, and I'm going to say she's 24 or 5, and when I walked in the room, she ran up to me and hugged me and just started sobbing. And first of all, I didn't know. I thought she thought I was somebody else for me. I don't know who you think I am, but I'm probably not that person. And she was sobbing, and she said, "You changed my life." And I said, I didn't even, really, I was so taken aback. And I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, I was waitressing, and I put this business up on YouTube. Otavio probably remembers this story. I put my business up on YouTube, and I started this channel. And it went nowhere, absolutely nowhere. And I gave up, and I was going back, and then you opened your space in Sao Paulo. And when you did, I went in and took a couple classes with Leo and Otavio, and I now have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I have advertisers interested in me, and I have my own life that I've built for myself doing what I love. You know, that'll last a good week of, you know, good vibes, right? That was just the most wonderful feeling, and I think that's something we really provide in a lot of cultures, but I hope we get to provide that here.
Vamos mais umas duas últimas perguntas, a gente começa os tours, porque acho que vocês estão ansiosos para ver tudo também, e a gente tem muito para contar nos espaços também.
Eu queria saber se vocês têm algum apoio financeiro do governo do estado ou da prefeitura.
Essa é fácil, não. Só para a gente estruturar, quem tem bolinhas azuis em tag? Só para ver como a gente está em distribuição de pessoas. Então, ok, bolinhas azuis, bolinhas verdes, só para dar uma olhada. Douradas ou amarelas, não sei que cor que vocês são. Amarelo, ok, isso é o amarelo. Então, bolinhas azuis, se vocês puderem acompanhar a Flávia Secles, que está aqui. A Flávia Secles é a nossa diretora de comunicação do time, junto com a Fecerávula, que é a diretora de parceria do YouTube. Bolinhas azuis, acompanhem elas, que elas vão levar vocês no tour. Pode ir, Ju. Quando deixa de sair, a gente começa as outras bolinhas saindo também.
Você pode trabalhar aqui, não? Não.
Cadê a arte? Bolinhas amarelas.
Before I get the question.